Spreading all around my room, my world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another video where we rebuild one of the recent draft picks of the 2025 NFL draft. We've already taken care of the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, and the Titans. We've taken care of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the number 2 pick, Travis Hunter. We took care of the Giants. We did double duty with them, with Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter. And now we make it to the next quarterback off the board. It is Tyler Shough. And yes, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name, Shough. And the New Orleans Saints. I think he was pick number 40 of the second round. I'm pretty sure that's the case. He is the next quarterback off the board, and he is one of the last rebuilds that we will do of this, because the only other one that we have left that really matters is the Shedeur Sanders. So we'll be doing the Shedeur Sanders rebuild next, or in the near future. But this one is all about the Saints and Tyler Shough and what they're going to do. Now, Tyler Shough's not even their first round pick, obviously. We have Kelvin Banks, who they took out of Texas in the first round. So we'll care about both of those players, but we really want to see the progression of Tyler Shough and see if he's the real deal. Now, there's been a big development in Saints football over the past couple of weeks and now probably a month. So Derek Carr has called it a career. He's retiring. Apparently, the injury that he had sustained is more disgustingly bad than we were given any thought of. He calls it a career. He retires. People were wondering if he was even going to start the season anyway, and now he has chosen to retire. So it opens the door for a quarterback to step in. Is it going to be Tyler Shough? Is it going to be Spencer Rattler? In this video, it's going to be Tyler, but who knows in real life? They'll probably start the season with Spencer Rattler, and then maybe they'll transition to Shough if Rattler continues to suck, which he's going to because he's not good, or not that good. And who knows if Tyler Shough's any good, but you got to figure that out. But in this video, it's all about Tyler Shough. It's all about the Saints bringing home a championship again for the first time since Drew Brees was in town. Let's go see if we can do it. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. And leave down below in the comments any suggestions for future rebuilds you want to see, whether it's in Madden 25 or in the upcoming Madden 26. So let me know down below in the comments any suggestions, and I will take them on in the future. But let's rebuild the New Orleans Saints with their new potential starting quarterback, Tyler Shough. This is the roster we are working with for this 2025 season. Put quotations out there because obviously it's still the 2024 season in Madden. But here is our guy, Tyler Shough. I've given him star development because I feel like he would have started. You know what? In Madden 26, he probably has normal dev, if I had to guess. But I gave him star dev just because. So he's a second round quarterback. You never know. But these are his starting attributes. We'll see what we can do with them. Maybe they're going to be good. Maybe they're not going to be good. I don't know. But he's 25, so we don't have a lot of time to work with. He's a very old man at this point because I'm 25. So he's just starting his NFL career. That's pretty scary. But he's going to be our starter. Here is our first round pick, Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. I've given him star dev because I do think he'll have star dev when it comes to Madden 26. But he is going to be sitting behind Trevor Penning this year and getting a little bit of time to sit because Penning's a 74, Banks is a 72. I could move Banks, or I guess I could put one of these two guys inside to guard. That might not be a bad idea. And maybe that'll, you know what? Maybe that's what I do. Maybe we move Trevor Penning into guard, although he's 6'7". Although, I mean, Mekhi Becton's almost 7 feet, and he's playing guard. So, I mean, you can play at the position. Maybe we move Trevor Penning inside. It allows for both of them to possibly play. And now Penning stays at 74 overall. That opens up the play for Kelvin Banks, and maybe Trevor Penning develops at guard. We saw in a recent video where we moved, it was the Giants video with Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter. We moved Evan Neal to center in that video, and he turned out to be like a really, really good player in that video. He really progressed and really developed. So maybe that can happen again this time with Trevor Penning. But the rest of the offense is decently good. We've got a good running back in Alvin Kamara, although he's older at this point. We also have, is it Devin Neal? Is that his name? Yeah, Devin Neal out of Kansas, who is a rookie running back they took this past draft. We obviously have Chris Olave, who's a stud. We have Rashid Shaheed, who's good. Brandon Cooks is a little bit older, but still a quality receiver. Taysom Hill and Jawan Johnson, both tight ends. And the defense is where we're going to have to help out. The linebacking core, I love P. Warner, but he needs to be upgraded probably, unless he gets upgraded himself with like going up to star dev or something with a good season. But definitely have to pass on Orgy and upgrade that position, get a new player in there. Defensively, we're going to have to bring somebody in to pair alongside Brian Bresee. Chase Young and Carl Granderson are probably good enough as the pass rushers. We need to add some more corners. Safeties are good but old. We'll figure it out as we go. I don't know how long this rebuild's going to take because I don't really remember how good the Saints playbooks are. I don't think they're that good, but I guess we'll find out. And I have loaded in the 2026 draft as I have always done with these types of rebuilds. And here it is. It's the same class I've been using for the other rebuilds, so you guys should be familiar with who's in the class by now. And we will start simulating. I'll see you guys at the end of the year. I'm probably not going to make any trades or anything like that. I did, when I loaded up this roster was created before Derek Carr called it a career, before he retired. So I did go in and I released him. So he should be here somewhere. There he is. Okay, so Derek Carr's still in the league technically as a quarterback, but he is no longer on our team. So I did release him. But that doesn't matter anymore because it's not his team. It is Tyler Shough's team. How good of a rookie year is he going to have? Hopefully a decent rookie year. I don't know how he's going to simulate being only a 70 overall, but let's find out. Let's simulate the end of the year and see how this team does in year number 1. Season 1's in the books, and we go 6-11. And I think if you ask Saints fans if at the end of the year you tell them they go 6-11 with Tyler Shough as their quarterback, I feel like they would be okay with that because yeah, it's kind of no man's land to an extent, but it's also you're gonna get another good draft pick, and now you in theory have your quarterback, and you can draft somebody else in the first round alongside Kelvin Banks, who you took last year in the first round. So Tyler Shough, I mean, if you put up these numbers in real life, you're gonna be the quarterback in New Orleans for a while. 3,900 yards, 37 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I wonder if the Saints' offensive playbook is going to be good enough to win a championship or not. I think it's too early to tell because the team around him is not great, at least on defense. So it might be too early to change it. But, I mean, these are good numbers for a guy who was a 70 coming into the season. These are good numbers. Alvin Kamara puts up just shy of 1,000 yards. Olave puts up just shy of 1,000 yards receiving. Kind of annoying he didn't get 1,000. Taysom Hill was right there with him. 11 touchdowns for Chris Olave, though. Pete Warner had 125 tackles and 3 picks. I wonder if that gets him to star dev. If it gets him to star dev, we'll keep him around. But if he still stays at normal, we might have to look to replace him. Demario Davis had 120 tackles. Good for him. Kool-Aid McKinstry, 96. Devon Godshaw had 13 tackles for loss, led the team. 5 sacks for Brian Bresee. That's what I want to see. I want to see him develop. I really do. Vernon Broughton, who was a rookie out of Texas that they drafted, had 4 sacks as well. Maybe we don't need another D tackle. Maybe Vernon Broughton is going to be that guy. I don't know. That's a good start to his career. 4 interceptions for both Demario Davis and Kool-Aid. Excuse me. 3 for P. Warner and Justin Reed. And then 1 and 2 for a couple other guys. All right, nothing special through the numbers, although I am pretty impressed with the Tyler Shough numbers to start the career. I don't think those numbers are going to be good enough to get him up to superstar dev, obviously, but those are very, very good numbers in your first year in a playbook that I'm not familiar with. So I'm okay with those numbers. I wish that at least one of the receivers would have got 1,000 yards, and Tyler Shough's already up to a natural 76 with the first season. So that's 6 upgrade points he had throughout the year. And he does go up to superstar dev. Oh my God, I was not expecting that at all. But we've got a superstar dev quarterback at this point. That's huge. That's really huge. And then on defense, P. Warner stays at star dev, which is a little annoying. I was hoping he would go up. Vernon Broughton, if he continues to develop, he might be the backup D tackle. Who knows? I was really hoping that P. Warner would get star dev. It's the Cowboys and the Colts. What a weird Super Bowl. But it is the Cowboys and the Colts in the Super Bowl. And I feel, obviously, we're confident with Shough now having superstar dev. But I don't know how I feel about the defense. The defense is a little strange. Where do we upgrade in the offseason? What's our draft pick even going to look like? I don't know. Probably top 10, I would assume. Joe Burrow wins MVP of the league. Kalen Carson is the MVP for the Cowboys, who win the Super Bowl by a single point over the Colts. Matt LaFleur, Coach of the Year. Christian McCaffrey, Aiden Hutchinson are the Players of the Year. And, oh, that's why Tyler Shough got up to Superstar Dev, because he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Abdul Carter won Defensive Rookie of the Year. But that's why he goes up to Superstar Dev, is because he got the Rookie of the Year. Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say, because the season that he had did not translate, in my opinion, to a dev trade upgrade, but it's because it parlayed it with the rookie of the year win, which I think is a guaranteed upgrade. So that's huge. And now we go to the offseason where we have to re-sign some people, including Chase Young, who I definitely want to bring back because I think Chase Young could be a foundational piece to winning a championship here. He's kind of gotten the short end of the stick in his career. He did suffer a pretty big injury early on. And he was coming out with amazing hype out of Ohio State. Trust me, he's one of my favorite Ohio State players in recent memory. So I'm kind of sad to see the way that his NFL career has started. Alvin Kamara, I will re-sign. I know it sounds a little crazy because we have running backs that are younger behind him, but we need a running back that has experience right out the gates. So we need to bring him back. $31 million will re-sign Juwan Johnson, even though we have Taysom Hill. But I mean, we're going to need to look for another tight end, I would think, because both these guys are super old. That leaves us with $21 million, and I don't think I need anybody else here. I know we're going to lose out on Amadi, who is a corner, and we don't really have cornerback depth. But I think we can either draft or sign some corners in free agency that might end up being better than Amadi. So we'll do that. But with this $23 million, let's go to free agency and see what we're working with here. So Nick Chubb's in free agency, Havenstein, but we're not really in the market for a tackle. We've got Shaq Thompson. All right, there's not really a whole lot to work with here in free agency, which is not a surprise. At wide receiver, we've got really nothing. That's okay. What about if we go to the cornerback room? Rasul Douglas, Mike Hilton, Darrell Baker, Shaquille Griffin. There's not really a lot here either. Although we do get some of the rookies from this past draft class that have their contracts messed up. We've seen that in the past couple of rebuilds, and we might take advantage of it if we see a couple guys that we like. Let's see. We could go with, I kind of like a Kobe Durant type of player, and he wants to be here. He's probably not super expensive. If we get him on a 2-year deal, Kobe Durant, I think we could have him make a pretty big impact. And then we've got Noel Williams from California, who is a rookie this past year. I think I might offer him a contract because he's already a 75 overall, and if he can turn into something on our team, that'd be super huge. So I think those are going to be the only two guys that we go after, the two corners. We'll see if they sign with us, and they both do. So we bring in two corners. I talked about we needed cornerback depth. We bring in two big corners, and now we move to the draft, where we're probably going to have a top 5 pick, or probably not top 5, probably a top 10 pick at the best. Maybe like I'm thinking maybe 7 or 8 is where I'm kind of guessing we're going to be picking, depending on how many teams were worse than us, obviously. But I'm obviously leaning towards linebacker in this first round. We've taken Anthony Hill Jr. plenty of different times. We know how good he can be. We've taken him a bunch of different times in these rebuilds before. Suntrain Perkins out of Ole Miss might be my guy this time around because I've never taken him. CJ Allen we know is not that great. I probably should scout some corners, although I do have the full national scouting focus on corner. We could use a safety, but it's not a big need. It's not like at the top of the list. Running back, we're kind of okay with. Wide receiver, we could use an extra wide receiver, but I don't think we're going to be in play for one of the top guys. So maybe I can find like an Elijah Surratt down the board, maybe in the second round. That could be a pickup for us. What about tight end? Jack Velling certainly would be awesome. Oscar Delp would be good. Let's scout Oscar Delp. Maybe we take him in the third round. That could be a big pickup. We've taken Ruben Bain before in one of these past rebuilds. We know he's pretty decent. Uyunglele, I don't think we've taken, but I think we've scouted. We could obviously use another D tackle unless we want to ride it out with the guy as the backup to Brian Bresee, the guy that we already have on the team. taking a couple of running backs or a couple of linebackers might be a good idea. I'm not 100% sure if that's the route that I want to take, but a couple of running backs might not be a bad thing. Why do I keep saying running back? A couple of linebackers might not be a bad thing. Let's scout Deontay Lawson at Alabama. Alabama usually got a good history with linebackers, so let's scout him, see how good he is. And we will simulate to the draft, but take a look at the mock draft first, as we always do. All right, where are we picking? Where are we picking? They have us picking Caden Proctor going one of the Bears is crazy. Let's see. We are picking at number 11. Okay, so I was a little bit I was thinking like around 7 or 8. They have us taking a outside linebacker, Suntrain Perkins, and I might just stay there at 11 and take him because we do need an outside linebacker, and Perkins might be the best because I know we've already taken Anthony Hill. I want to get other people. We can always come back in another rebuild and take Anthony Hill. So I think I might take Perkins because I've never taken him in any of these rebuilds so far. So let's stay at 11 and take him and see how he develops. Number 1 overall pick, the Bears have it, and they take Proctor. Good for Proctor going to the Bears to protect Caleb Williams. Then Francis Mauigoa goes 2 to the Panthers. So, I mean, these young teams protecting their young quarterbacks. Ruben Bain going to the Steelers. Still don't take a quarterback, funny enough. The Browns take Zachariah Branch. Patriots grab themselves Malachi Lawrence. The Seahawks grab Jermaine Matthews Jr. Then we've got the Titans taking Toriano Pride. I think it's Toriano. I don't know how to say his name, honestly. And then Uyunglele goes to the Jets. The Rams will grab themselves Jacob Johnson. And the Broncos, right before us, take Fernando Carmona. And that leaves us able to take Suntrain Perkins. And or Suntarine. I don't know how to say his name, honestly. Suntarine Perkins, 6'3", 205, speed rusher out of Ole Miss. He's got elite physicals. He looks like a great player. We're going to grab him, and that fills our outside linebacker spot. He's got a dev trait. I mean, 92 speed, 93 excel with 95 jumping at outside linebacker is kind of crazy. Hopefully he's a stud for us, and that takes care of our outside linebacker problem. We go to the second round where we could use corner. Caleb Downs went in the second round. That's actually insane. Let's see. What is our next pickup? We could go tight end. That's a possibility. Or we go Elijah Surratt at wide receiver because Oscar Delp is still available. What's the cornerback room looking like? Ooh, not great for the guys that we have fully scouted. Denver Harris is a true talent round 3 to 4, but he's undrafted. We'll keep an eye on him. I'm leaning towards taking Elijah Surratt. I don't know if that's a good idea. He's 6'2". He's a deep threat, 4.5 speed. I might take Elijah Surratt here. Get another wide receiver in the room. Number 68. He's got a hidden dev. He'll play. He'll play for us. Him and Chris Olave hopefully will be a nice 1-2 punch, especially with Brandon Cooks being in his advanced age. We get to round 3, and hopefully Oscar Delp is still available. Oscar Delp is still available. Let's grab him in the 3rd round. I know he's a day 3 true talent, but we need to get a younger tight end in there. Both of our tight ends are older at this point, so we need to get a younger one in there. We'll go to the 4th round, and I don't really know at this point who we take or what's going to be available to us. It probably is just that corner, and then we simulate the rest of the picks. Let's take Denver Harris out of UTSA. 4.3 speed at corner is pretty nice. He ends up being number 99 in true value. No dev trait, but he could develop alongside that other young corner that we signed in free agency. So you never know. We'll sim out of the draft, and I think that was a pretty successful year 1. We won 6 games. We saw the development of Tyler Shough. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year and got a dev trait upgrade to Superstar Dev. We're on the right path. We are on the right path for sure. It ends up being Suntarine Perkins with 75 overall, 72 for Surratt, 67 for Delp. Good thing he doesn't have to start right away. 70 for Harris, and then they took a middle linebacker, Jason Henderson, who's a 70 overall. That's pretty decent. I can ride with that. Best players in the class, obviously, we know the drill. It's CJ Baxter. It's Francis Mauigoa. We've seen this draft plenty of times before. It's still kind of crazy to me that Caleb Downs went in the 2nd round. If he would have been there at our pick, I definitely would have grabbed him, obviously, but I think he's got a good shot of going top 5 in real life. He's that good. We'll see what happens this year for the Buckeyes in real life. But this is the team headed into year number 2. I think it's better, obviously. We added another wide receiver. Shough has gotten better. And we are an interesting offense. I don't think we're a playoff team just yet. Maybe a sneak as a playoff team. And it looks like Demario Davis has retired. I didn't realize he retired. I probably should have looked at that. So the guy that the CPU drafted, Henderson's going to start at middle linebacker for us. Hopefully, he has a good year, or we're going to have to replace him in the offseason. But Broughton will be the backup D tackle because Gottschall has significantly regressed. I'm okay with that. Chase Young, Granderson, the corners are going to start. All right, this is a weird year, but I think it could be good for us. I think year two could be a time where we go maybe 8 wins, 9 wins. I don't know. Maybe sneak into the playoffs. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out. I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. Year 2 is wrapped, and we do improve. Some slight improvement. 8 wins this year instead of the 6 wins that we had last year. Still missing out on the playoffs, but we're getting there. We're getting there. It's a process. Tyler Shough is still putting up good numbers. A little bit too many interceptions this year. He had, what, like 9 last year, I think, in his first year. 14 this time. Still a good amount of touchdowns and good yards, but the team is slightly better, and I think the playbook's still not getting the job done. Chris Olave had 1,000 yards. He had 1,000 yards with 10 touchdowns. So he finally does reach 1,000. Suntarine Perkins. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I'm going to keep calling him Suntarine until I hear otherwise. He gets 124 tackles. P. Warner had 118. Good for him. Tackle velocity was Chase Young. That's why we re-signed you, Chase, because we need you to have a season like that. 16 for Granderson. Broughton had 16 and 7.5 sacks. Ooh, that could be started to have easily for Vernon Broughton. He leads the team with 7.5. Granderson had 7, 5.5 for Perkins. Kobe Durant comes in out of free agency and picks up 5 interceptions. That could be started for him as well. Probably not, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt. That'd be super sick. We'll see what happens, but that is a really decent season sim-wise in the defense. Very, very impressed with that. I'm happy about it, and I hope that this offseason goes pretty well. I guess we'll find out. It is the Ravens and the Lions in the Super Bowl this year. Okay. Perkins gets an upgrade point. I think it said he won some sort of Rookie of the Year on the right side. Yeah, Perkins wins Rookie of the Year. I don't know if that means he won the Rookie of the Year for linebacker. I don't think that's a thing, right? It has to be Rookie of the Year for defense. We have a ton of money, by the way. Ton of available cap room. We will upgrade some positions, and we will get to the season recap. Here we are. It is Amon-Ra St. Brown winning Super Bowl MVP as the Lions beat the Ravens. Josh Allen wins MVP of the league. Brandon Ayuk and Aiden Hutchinson are Players of the Year. C.J. Baxter and Perkins, Suntarine Perkins, wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. So we get Offensive Rookie of the Year last year with Shough, and now this year we get Defensive Rookie of the Year with Perkins. I'd say our draft picks are working out pretty darn fine, if you ask me. That's huge. That's kind of huge. We get to the re-sign period with a ton of money available. It is Chris Olave, Devin Neal. I forgot to change his contract, but Devin Neal's available. Trevor Penning, Alontae Taylor. I like Alontae Taylor. I'll probably bring him back. Okay, so it's not that big. The $115 million, we might be able to parlay some of that into a big free agency if there's people available. But obviously, we want to get Chris Olave back. And it says that Tyler Shough is a franchise quarterback. He must have the franchise quarterback tag, which is pretty huge, actually. We re-sign Olave for a pretty hefty chunk of change there. We want to get Devin Neal back on a contract because he might end up being the replacement for Alvin Kamara, who continues to regress, which we knew was going to happen. Devin Neal comes back. Trevor Penning we want to get back because he is our left guard right now. The only option we have until we draft somebody. Or maybe we don't. I don't know. Maybe he just stays the left guard. But he gets brought back. Alontae Taylor, we're going to bring him back, even though he is 28 years old. But I like Alontae Taylor as a player. So we're going to bring him back. He's coming back, and we still have $66 million to go into free agency with. I will bring back Danny Stutzman because I do like Danny out of Oklahoma. He was in this year's draft as well. I do like Danny Stutzman. I thought he was a good player at Oklahoma, and I'll bring him back. Anthony Orgy, I'm probably going to let walk because we already have somebody better in Perkins. We don't really need Orgy anymore. So we are going to move on from him, and we'll take like $55 million into free agency and have a good time. I am super happy about that. And Kyle Hamilton is here. Well, it's a good thing we have money because I might spend every dime on Kyle Hamilton. I want him on a 6-year contract. We can trade Justin Reed at that point and maybe get a younger free safety out of it. I will spend literally every single penny I have to get Kyle Hamilton here. I know he's asking for a 5-year deal, almost 100 million. I'm willing to give him so much more than that that he'll be able to jump in his money like Scrooge McDuck. That's how much money I'm willing to offer him. Kyle, you better accept this. It's not even full. It's not even full on the interest bar. I mean, basically the entire NFL is going after him, which is understandable. He's the best free agency, best player in free agency by a little bit of a mile here. Who else is available? If we have to pivot to somebody else, who else would we go after? Khalil Shakir is an interesting one, but I like our wide receiver room. It's a little underrated. But we brought in Surratt in the draft. We have Chris Olave. We have Rashid Shaheed. I like what we're doing there in terms of wide receivers. James Pierce Jr. makes it to free agency because of the messed up contracts. That's actually pretty huge. I might go after James Pierce Jr. Spend whatever money we have available to us on James Pierce Jr. And maybe he's the replacement for Granderson. All right, Kyle Hamilton, please accept my contract. And James Pierce Jr., accept my contract. Here we go. They both chose to sign. Who'd they sign with? Nobody signed with us? Kyle Hamilton chose the Philadelphia Eagles. And James Pierce Jr. signed with the Steelers. I can't believe that, man. I didn't even know the Steelers were going after anybody. That's super annoying. All right, Nick Scorton is available. We'll go after him instead. I can't believe that Kyle Hamilton didn't accept our contract. I mean, what are we doing here? I offered him so much money. What did the Eagles offer him? That's super crazy, man. I hate that. All right, it looks like there might not be any other big time. Oh, there are actually some big time wide receivers here, or big time players here. I love that the class or the contracts get messed up because that means I can get a bunch of good young guys for a lot cheaper. Let's see. I see Emeka Ibuka here. We might go after Emeka. Josh Simmons is also available. I kind of want to go after JMO though, but he's got 19 people wanting to talk to him here. He has developed. I know I just mentioned how the wide receiver room's a little underrated, but it would be properly rated if we were able to bring in JMO. What about these two guys? Are they going to accept their contracts for us? They do. We get JMO and Nick Scorton. So we end up splashing some cash in free agency, getting Jamison Williams and Nick Scorton on the defensive line and wide receiver room. So now now I really like the wide receivers we got. And then on the defensive line, we've got Nick Scorton to back up Carl Granderson, who's eventually going to start to regress. No dev trade upgrades on. Oh no, Kobe Durant has star dev. I noticed that, and Broughton has star dev. So two defensive upgrades. Perkins has superstar dev. It's revealed. Nobody else on the offense has gone up a dev trade. It's revealed to have Surratt is revealed to have star dev. Okay, but I like the free agency that we just had. I wish it would have ended with Kyle Hamilton at safety, but hey, I tried my best. I offered him so much money. I probably could have gone even higher, but I didn't want to get too crazy. But with an 8-win season, we're not going to have that good of a draft pick. We're going to probably be picking middle of the first round, which means we're not going to come away with anybody too amazing. And I don't even really know what position we need to go after. We're pretty good at defensive line now with the addition of Broughton, who got a depth trade upgrade. Corner is looking better than it had been. We're not going to be able to grab a top 5 corner, that's for sure. I mean, we could look to grab a safety in the first round, I guess, since both Reed and Tyrann Mathieu are old. So we could look to grab one of the safeties. I did scout corner, which there are some good corners down the board, so maybe we grab one of them a little bit later. Probably don't need to grab one at the very beginning. DeMarcus Riddick at outside linebacker. Maybe he replaces Pete Werner. I mean, we'll scout him and see if he's good, but I don't know. Let's get to the mock draft, see exactly where we're picking. I'm going to guess probably around the 13-14 range is where we're going to be picking, maybe even 15. Mock draft number 5. Arch Manning going to the Jets. Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith. We are picking at number 13. Okay. So they have us taking an offensive pass rusher in Williams, in Wanery. I don't know how to say his name, man. Why do they got to give me tough names to say? So everybody below us. Ooh, there's Antoine Knapp. We know how good he can be. Everybody below us is pretty interesting. Is there anybody up here that I absolutely need to jump up for? Not really. I mean, there's a couple of decent corners, Ellis Robinson and Xavier Brown. I guess we could jump up for one of them if we had to. But I don't think we need to. We might just stay at 13 and take somebody there. I don't really think we need to trade up. Number 1 pick. Jets have it. Are they going to take their future? They do. Arch Manning is a New York Jet. Good luck with all that. Ryan Williams goes to the Titans. That's pretty crazy. Dylan Stewart heading to the Commanders. The Steelers grab Jeremiah Smith. The Giants get Jalen Mbakwe. A guy that I'm not going to pronounce is Edabor. I don't know. I don't. It's still a couple years away from me learning how to pronounce some of these guys' names. So once they're actually ready to get drafted, I'll start to learn to pronounce their names because I need to hear them more often. Getting to our pick, though, the draft board is basically going exactly how the mock draft said it would. Here go the 2 corners, and now we are available at 13 to grab whatever we want to grab. We could take Colin Simmons. That's a possibility. We could take KJ Bolden. That might be our pick. KJ Bolden in the first round might be the guy that we need to take. Although Raylan Wilson is a pretty solid player. And so is this guy out of Notre Dame. He also, I mean, he looks pretty good skill-wise. I don't think either of those guys are going to be there when we make it to the next round. That's the problem. We might have to trade back into the first. Or maybe the top of the second. To get one of these 2 linebackers. Okay. I do think that KJ Bolden is our pick, though. We need to prepare for the future and get a safety. Because there's no way that Justin Reed and Tyrann Mathieu are going to be there for the rest of the rebuild. It's just not possible. So we got to prepare for the future right now. And we grab KJ Bolden. He's a good player. He's got a dev trait. Dylan Raiola headed to the Browns. So the Browns continue to try to find their franchise. Maybe it's Patrick Mahomes 2.0. Who knows? Let's get to the end of the first round. I don't think those linebackers are going to go. If I see one of them go, then I will trade into the first round again. But I don't think they're going to get taken. Oh, never mind. The Niners take the other one of the 2 linebackers. So that means we got to try to trade into the first round to get the Bengals pick. I was hoping it wouldn't be the first round because it's going to be more difficult to trade for. But let's see if we can get this 26th pick. What do they want for it? They want a bunch of firsts and seconds. Okay, you're not going to get all that. You can calm all down on that. You're not going to get that. We could trade Justin Reed because we have KJ Bolden now. And it looks like Matthew is retired because he's not on our team anymore. So it was a good thing that we took KJ Bolden because he's going to have to start now. So without Tyrann Mathieu here, I don't really want to trade KJ or Justin Reed. There's not really anybody here that I am willing. I mean, I guess I'm willing to trade Carl Granderson because we have Nick Scorton, and Granderson's going to continue to regress. So maybe if we toss Granderson in the mix, they also need a defensive lineman. That gets us over halfway. And if we toss in some draft picks to go alongside that, we could make this work. What about Granderson in a second from a couple years from now? Gets it into the green. What about a third from next year? Very close. Very, very close. We'll toss a 7 from a couple years from now, and that is accepted. So Granderson, a second from 2 years from now, and a 7th, and a third from next year gets us pick 26. We trade back into the first round to grab ourselves a linebacker. We were waiting for the one of the linebackers to get taken so that we can make our decision, and it is going to be Raylan Wilson, who is our option here out of Georgia. I have heard of Raylan Wilson before, so I am going to grab him with pick number 26. He's number 48 in true value. He's got a dev trait. I liked what our linebacker did this year The Anderson dude, I think is his name. There goes Antoine Knapp. I liked what he did, but getting a guy that already has a depth trait is going to help us out a whole heck of a lot. We'll go into the second round now. Is that other linebacker still available? Because he was an outside guy for us. No, Demarcus Riddick is available though. Okay, very interesting. I did see, by the way, a round 1 to 2 strong safety, Deshaun Spears, could be the replacement for Justin Reed. I think I might grab him here. We have the opportunity to. He's number 42. He's got a dev trait. That's our replacement for Justin Reed. Boom. In this draft, we replaced both safety spots. Or at least we will have replaced them when we move on from them. Although Bolden's going to have to start right away. Nope, I don't want to take Dalton Brooks. I want to go to the cornerback room and take a look at that. Okay, so we kind of missed out on all the good corners. There is a round 3 to 4 guy, and we are in the third round. DJ McKinney, but I think he might make it to the next round. I hope, at least. I hope he makes it to the fourth round. Is there anybody else that I want to grab? I don't know. Do we want to go offensive line? Do we want to go offensive line? We could go wide receiver again, I guess. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Take another wide receiver. But I feel like in the third round, that's not necessary. I kind of want to take a center. But I don't know which center to take. Mark Nabu Jr.? He looks pretty good. I might grab him. I don't know how good he's going to be. He's number 254, so we completely whiff on that. But he has a dev trait, which is helpful on the offensive line. And then we'll sim to the fourth round and see if that corner is available. He was a day 3 option. He should still be available if everything goes to plan. He is still available. Okay, I almost missed him there. DJ McKinney, 6'1 corner, great speed. He's around 3 to 4 true talent. He's number 110 in true value. He's got normal dev, but hey, it's another decent corner to add to the team. Especially, it's not as necessary anymore now that Kobe Durant developed into a star dev. So it's not as prevalent to get a bunch of really good corners. But the year 2 draft goes pretty well. I like it. We filled both the safety spots. We also got a good middle linebacker in Raylan Wilson. I like our first 3 picks. These are really, really big home run picks. Everybody else is kind of just a whatever pick, but I like the first 3 picks. Those are 3 starters. Those are 3 big time starters. Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith are the 2 best players in the class. No surprise there. They're probably going to be the 2 best players in the class when they actually get drafted. And we will move to year number 3. Do I stay in the Saints playbook is the big question. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to switch to a different playbook. But the offense now, with the addition of J-Mo on the wide receiver room, I like the offensive line. I like the wide receivers. I like the running back. Obviously, we have backups ready to go, who will probably have to start next year anyway. Shough is continuing to develop. The defense looks a lot better than it did last year. We've got Scorton on the defensive line. We've got Chase Young. We've got 2 good defensive tackles. We've got Justin Reed still around, but then KJ Bolden will start. The corners are looking fine. I'm ready to go. This could be a good season for us. This could be a very, very good season for us. Let's take a look at these schemes, though. So our offensive scheme needs to probably be only 77. All right, I guess we'll go 77 on the vertical zone run. Do we have anything better than an 88%? We do. We have a 4-6 defense, and we have a 3-4 under. Do I want to go 3-4 under? Probably not, actually. We probably should stay with a different defense, not a 3-4. But Rizzy and the Saints offense just doesn't seem like it's going to get the job done. What offense do I want to go with, though? We've seen in the past how the Charger offense can be pretty crazy. We've seen how the Cardinal offense can actually be kind of crazy. Buffalo's might not be too bad. Tampa's is decent. Obviously, we know Kansas City is going to be pretty good. The Colts just went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. The Eagles are obviously a great team, but I don't think Tyler Shough fits the Jalen Hurts role is the problem. We could try it out. Do we want to ride the Saints defense, though? I might switch Saints defense. Maybe we go Baltimore's defense. Does that fit us a little bit better? Let's try Baltimore's defense. So Philly's offense, Baltimore's defense. I don't know how this is going to work. Maybe it'll work good for us. I don't know, but we're going to find out. Year number 3, let's simulate it. It seems as though changing the playbook has worked out for us, at least this year. We actually became, it looks like, the number 1 seed. I don't know how that's possible. 12 wins gives the number 1 seed. I guess it was just a weak NFC conference this year by the looks of things, but 12 wins gets us the number 1 seed and a good chance to actually make some noise here. And the Philadelphia Eagle playbook, I mean, these are not amazing numbers. The yards are pretty good, but 21 touchdowns, 13 interceptions is a little bit of a close margin for me. But I mean, Tyler's been putting up crazy good numbers anyway, so Alvin Kamara puts up 1,000 yards in the Saquon Barkley role with 15 touchdowns. This is probably going to be his last year as the starter, I would assume. No 1,000-yard receiver, but 3 guys in the 900s. And then defensively, we were in the Ravens playbook, I think, right? And Raylan Wilson, the rookie out of Georgia, takes the lead for tackles on the team with 106, 90 for Kobe Durant, but no picks, interestingly. Tackle for loss leader was Chase Young with 12, 11 for Perkins, and 11 for Broughton. So 2 of our young guys, our bright young stars, at the top of the stats list right there. And Perkins and Broughton are also at the top of the sack margin. And Suntarine, I don't know how to say his name. We've talked about this before. He had 11 sacks. Perkins had 11 sacks. And then you've got Broughton with 10.5, Chase Young with 8. So I like the sack production. And the interception numbers are pretty decent as well. Kool-Aid had 3, so did KJ Bolden as a rookie. That's pretty good. And then Noel Williams comes in with 2. All right, so, I mean, those are good numbers. I'm not sure how we got the number 1 seed still, even with 12 wins. And Tyler Shough's numbers are okay. And we win against the Commanders. We are playing in the NFC Championship. And you know what happens when we play in NFC Championships and Super Bowls? We jump in. This could be our chance to win a title. I mean, it's a long shot, you'd think, but they're rating us pretty well. They've got us at 86 overall, 87 offense, 85 defense, so something's going right for us. We host this playoff game against Philadelphia. We're using their playbook. Maybe we can take them out. Who knows? Young Tyler Shough will try to take down the juggernaut that is the Philadelphia Eagles. Can we do it? I hope so. I'd like to play in a Super Bowl in what is this, year number 3? I'd love to play in a Super Bowl. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. Philadelphia leads 14-7. We make a field goal. That's nice. But it's getting a little bit late here. I might have to jump in and try to get this done. And obviously, Madden does not like the fact that I have a lot of save data. But that's okay. We've had it happen plenty of times before. Let's see what we can do here on 2nd and 7. Finding J-Mo on 3rd and 1. This is the first time I've jumped in and used Tyler Shough in this team, so getting used to Shough's throwing style. He's not very quick, at least in the scramble, but he finds J-Mo again wide open. Only 72 yards through basically all 4 quarters of the Super Bowl, or of the NFC Championship. That's not ideal for Tyler, but I mean, we have 10 points, and the defense has done good enough to hold the Saints for right now. That's wide open, actually. No, it's not anymore! You got to be kidding me. How in the world? I know I don't usually go instant replay on jump-in moments, but this is unbelievable speed. This is wide open. Look at this. I've already decided to throw it here. Juwan Johnson has like 5-6 yards of separation between him and the guy covering him. The guy that actually breaks up this play is right here. Is this Reed Blankenship? Who is this? It is, in fact, Reed Blankenship. He tracks all this way. Oh, no, it's Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean. I got my white boys mixed up. It is Cooper DeJean. By the way, Cooper DeJean's covering Chris Olave on this. He tracks all the way over, pivots, and finds a way to break that up. You got to be kidding me, bro. That is just unnatural. There's no way that a guy should have been able to make a play on that. That was so open, it's not even funny. And Shough might be able to drop that over the dot. It is! It's a touchdown for Chris Olave right over the aforementioned Cooper DeJean, and we score, but we don't make the extra point for some reason, or we went for two. I'm not sure what happened there. And it is unfortunately a 17-16 game with 10 seconds to go. It looks like Philadelphia has scored themselves a field goal. How do we get out of this situation? We have two timeouts. Do we just lob it to Rashid Shaheed and hope for the best? I mean, that works. That works. Call a timeout. 3 seconds, a 56-yard field goal. Can I kick this? I don't know who our kicker is at this point, but we're in a dome. I got to put as much power as I physically can on this. 56 yards for a trip to the Super Bowl. I put as much power as I could. It's on the left. Well, that didn't go to plan, did it? I think what had happened as I missed the field goal. I think what had happened was I put too much power on it and it hooked itself just a little bit to the left. I think it would have had enough leg if I would have centered it the right way. But because it was like the arrow was wobbly, as you can see, I think that's the problem. That is unfortunate. That is really, really unfortunate. We will lose the NFC Championship. I didn't think we were ready to win a Super Bowl this year anyway, but I mean, I would have taken it. I would have obviously taken it. It will be the Eagles and the Bills in the championship game this year. With the season that we had this year, I only can expect a Super Bowl next year. I mean, how could I not? How could I not with the season that we just put together in year number 3? Absolutely heartbreaking fashion losing that NFC Championship, and it looks like the Eagles won the Super Bowl out of that game against the Bills. So if you want to put a silver lining on it, we lost to the eventual Super Bowl champions, but I mean that's kind of a BS thing to think about. The Saquon Barkley MVP train continues on as he wins one here as the Bills lose 30-27 over the Eagles. Josh Allen gets MVP of the league. Jamar Chase and DeMarcus Lawrence are the players of the year. And Micah Hudson and Raylan Wilson are rookies of the year. So we win for the third straight year. We win a Rookie of the Year award. First year was Tyler Shough. Last year it was, what's his face? It was, why am I blanking on his name? I'm completely blanking on his name. What's his name? Perkins, that's what I was thinking of. It was Perkins, and now this year was Wilson. I couldn't believe I blanked on his name. It was Perkins who won the Defensive Rookie there last year. We get him up to X Factor, which is huge. Wilson is a superstar. Bolden is superstar. I don't notice any other changes on the defense. What about offense? Chris Olave has superstar dev now, and it looks like Alvin Kamara has finally regressed enough to where he's going to be down the depth chart, but that's okay. That is totally fine because we've got Devin Neal to back him up, and we have a little bit of money, right? $83 million to re-sign a few different players. There's actually a lot of people that need new contracts. Brian Bresee will be one of those guys we will re-sign here. Even though we do have Vernon Broughton, I'd like to have Bresee back as well. He's developed okay, 85 overall. Oh, he's not going to come back. Wow, I thought I overpaid him too, and he said no. We'll hold off on the franchise tag just in case. I should have traded Justin Reed when he was like at 87, because now he's an 84, and I don't want to pay him that. Kobe Durant's going to come back because he's had a pretty good career here for the past 2 seasons or something like that. So we're going to bring him back. Perfect. Kendre Miller. I think I'm going to let Kendre Miller go and just ride it out with Devin Neal. Foskey, we don't need anymore. We don't need any of these guys anymore, really. Alvin Kamara. You know what? I'll bring Alvin Kamara back just on principle that he's a Saint, and he's one of the better Saints of recent memory. So we'll bring him back just to be a back. And since we're going to be losing Kendre Miller, we might as well bring a backup in. And I don't really need anybody else. I mean, Riley Patterson missed the game-winning kick in the NFC Championship, so I'm not bringing him back. But we will franchise tag Brian Bresee. $33.5 million is crazy for a franchise tag, but we got to bring back Brian Bresee. And hopefully this is the final year anyway, so we don't have to worry about re-signing him next year. But we will move to free agency. We have a little bit of cash, 39 mil to spend here in free agency. If there's anybody worth paying, Fred Warner. I like our middle linebacker room, Brian Branch. Oh my God. Brian, this is a crazy free agency. Brian Branch, Jack Campbell, Jair Alexander, Tetaroa McMillan makes it to free agency. There's some crazy names in here. I mean, how could I not offer Brian Branch a contract? I know we have KJ Bolden and we drafted that other free safety, but I mean, it's Brian Branch at the end of the day. This could completely change our defense. And maybe we could play Deshaun Spears at corner. I don't know if he's got cornerback abilities, but we could play him there. We are the best team or the best offer for Brian Branch. And I mean, Jack Campbell paired alongside Raylan Wilson would be an elite combo. I don't know if we're going to have the money to be able to do it, though. I'm going to try it. That's our best offer. We offer these two guys. I don't know. He might sign with the Commanders, it looks like. We'll see what happens. They both signed, and they both signed with us. X Factor Jack Campbell and Brian Branch as our new strong safety. That's an elite combination right there. An absolute elite combination. Oh, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. And we might, since we're in this 4-3, we might be able to switch Raylan Wilson to outside linebacker and still get him to play, because obviously he needs to play. So if we switch him to outside linebacker, hopefully he doesn't go down too much. Oops, I switched him to the other side. But he is an 84, so he should be an 84 on the right side as well. And then he can start over P. Warner, and that's an elite linebacker core right there. That is an elite linebacking core. Boom, perfect. We'll just generate the best lineup right there. Boom. And now we've got Branch as our new strong safety. Can Deshaun Spears play corner? 6'2", 213. His coverages are not great. How hard of a decrease in overall does he take if I switch him to corner? Does he take a big drop off if I switch him to corner? He ends up being... Oh, he's not even on the depth chart. Ooh, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Where is he at on the depth chart? Hold on. View and depth chart. Where is he at? He ends up being a 75. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. I know Denver Harris is a new guy that we drafted. All these corners have really good speed, by the way. Kobe's, I think, going to drop down a little bit. Spears is going to jump up. Denver's going to play over Kobe. And I think Kobe's going to play, Kobe's going to play over Alante. I think that's how we're going to work it. Got to get Deshaun Spears in there, obviously. So he's going to come in and be the third corner. Then Kobe's going to get some play time. Then Harris is going to play. I like this team a lot. This team can win a championship next year. I just hope that we are in the right position to actually do that. We are running auto-generated draft classes now since we got the two real-life draft classes out of the way. And I hope year number 4 is the final year of this video. That would be really sick nasty if it was. Private workouts, obviously we made it to the NFC Championship, so we're not going to have that great of a pick. What do we even need? Maybe a top-end pass rusher? I mean, we have Nick Scorton. Glenn Duff ends up being around 1 to 2 true talent. I guess we could scout some extra defensive ends and see if there actually is like a top-tier rusher in this class that we would be in position to grab. So we'll scout 3 defensive ends, see if anybody's going to be better than Nick Scorton, which I doubt. I mean, Nick Scorton's like, what, an 80-something overall? I doubt that we'd find an 80 overall or better. First, let me take a look at those guys before we take a look at the mock draft. So we've got 2 round 1 to 2 talents, true talents. And then we've got a round 1 to 2 and a round 2 to 3. Okay, so we should be able to be in position to grab one of these guys. I don't know who it's going to be, but we should be able to be in position to grab one of them. We are going to be picking at number 30. They have us taking a guard. And you know what? That might not be a bad idea. I'm probably not going to... Ooh, there's a top 5 corner at 32? Never mind. I might take a top 5 corner. I know we don't need a corner, but, I mean, taking a top 5 corner at that late in the first round might be too good to pass up. Number 1 pick is going to be Clarence Whitmore. Was that his name? Left tackle Clarence Whitmore. Let's sim right to our pick and see if that top 5 corner is available, because if he is, I'm taking him. I know we need a guard. Well, we don't necessarily need a guard, but he is still down there. Lance Rowe, 6'2", great speed, 4.3 speed. He's a top 5 true talent. I'm sorry, Philadelphia. You don't need him. He doesn't have a dev trait, but 94 speed, 92 excel. How does the top 5 talent should all have uh, dev traits, in my opinion? All right, we move to the second round. We got a top 5 player in the class. He was number 3 in the class. Now we need to grab our. Oh, never mind. None of them are available. Okay, nobody is available there at the good old fashioned defensive end spot, but there is still a good guard, at least on paper. Trevor McLeod looks like he could be pretty solid. Let's grab him. He's number 25 in true value. He's got a dev trait. Maybe he could end up being better than Trevor Penny. He's probably not going to be better right away, but maybe he could end up being better in a few seasons. We won't be able to find out because hopefully we win a Super Bowl this year and we're done. But we took 2 good players. I mean, we took a top 5 player in the class. You can't be mad at a draft class that has a top 5 player in it. So he ends up being a 78 overall, no dev trait, but he's going to start right away. Trevor McLeod's a 75. They took a running back who's a 70. Nobody else really matters that much. We got our 2 guys. We got our 2 studs. And he ends up being number 3, tied with Emmanuel Poole, who's another corner. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We technically got the number 2 player because they're both tied for 2. So that's a pretty big addition to the team, which means it's going to push Kobe Durant and Alontae Taylor down the depth chart a little bit. Yeah, so Lance Rowe moves to number 3, which means that it switched my team again. It means that, not Brian Branch, that Spears will come in and play at number 4, and then we'll have Denver Harris play at 5. I don't know if he'll get any playing time, but that's how the depth chart's going to look. This team can win a championship. I'm gonna be 100% with you. This team can win a championship. It just matters what our record is at the end of the year. We've got good receivers. We got an okay running back. He's gonna finally get his chance. Offensive line's good enough. Tight end's fine. The defense is really, really good, especially this linebacking core. I mean, we put a lot of money into this team. Let's go and pay that off by winning a championship. The 4th year is done, and we improve a little bit. We went from, 12 wins last year to now 14 wins, another number 1 seed in the NFC. This one was a little bit more competitive. Seahawks ended up with 13 wins, so they were pretty close. Then the Eagles were 11 wins. So a little bit more competitive, more wins it took to get the number 1 seed, but we still ended up with it, which is nice. And how'd the boys do? Okay, this is what I was expecting last year with the Eagles playbook. Tyler Shough really put on a show here. 4,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, 8 picks. That's a really, really good stat line. Devin Neal, 21 touchdowns in his first year as a starter? Oh my God, that's crazy. Good job, Devin Neal. That's definitely going to get him at least star dev, maybe even superstar dev. I don't even know. Maybe he doesn't have superstar dev because of the yards, but that certainly has got to get him up from normal to star. That's a crazy season. J-Mo puts up 1,000 yards with 10 touchdowns. Rashid Shaheed has 10 touchdowns as well. And then defensively, Jack Campbell, I would have put some money on him leading the team. 111 tackles. Perkins had 79. The tackle velocity was Brian Bresee. Nice to see. 13 for Perkins, 11 for Chase Young. Sack leader was Chase with 12.5. 10 for Perkins, 8.5 for Bresee, and for Scorton. 3 interceptions for Brian Branch and Noel Williams. That's a big season for Noel. 61 tackles, 3 picks. A couple guys had 2. A few guys had 1. And we are the number 1 seed once again here in the playoffs. Please do not give me that stupid Madden sim. Give me a W here. Thank you. 13-10. We beat the Cardinals. We played in the NFC Championship. This time, not against the Philadelphia Eagles, who knocked us out last year, surviving in a game-winning field goal situation. We play the 13-win Seahawks, who were right there battling with us for most of the year, I would assume. Here we go. NFC Championship round number 2. This time, hopefully it doesn't come down to a game-winning field goal. Here we are against the Saints, and I was about to say I'm not sure who the quarterback of the Seahawks is at this point in the save, but it is, as you can see right there, Drew Aller. Former Penn State quarterback has made his way to Seattle and has taken over as the starter and has gotten his team to 13 wins and an NFC Championship appearance, taking on fellow youngster, well, in real life fellow youngster, Tyler Shough. Hopefully our youngster can best theirs. but we are only put up field goals now. We got the ball back really quickly in a touchdown this time. 12 to 7 we lead. Put up another touchdown, please. There it is, 18 to 7. That's huge. Field goal by the Seattle Seahawks. Hopefully they can't do anything here. 8 seconds left, and we hold on for the victory. 18 to 10. The Saints are going to the Super Bowl for the first time since Drew Brees, and when they won that as well. Drew Aller didn't put up any touchdowns. He was a scrub, a bum, washed, trash, garbage, buns, booty cheeks. Not worth the time. And it's nice to see Brian Bresee actually developing. Because a lot of times in different sims, he just kind of middles around the low 80s for his overall, like 81, 82, sometimes an 83. But it's nice to see him get actually good progression for once. Because I think he is a good player, both in the game and in real life. I think he is a good player. But we will take on the Cincinnati Bengals, who do not have a good history in Super Bowl games. Most recently against the Rams a couple of years ago. Well, actually, that's probably been like 3 or 4 years ago now, right? 2021, 22, something like that, when they lost to the Rams. But they're 10 and 7. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, I'm assuming are all still there. But this is our time. This is Who Day versus Who Dat. And hopefully Who Dat comes out on top. We play in the Super Bowl against the Cincinnati Bengals. And you know what? I was thinking while I was loading into this, what stadium we were going to get. And obviously it ends up being Hard Rock. I wish that for as many rebuilds as I do during each Madden cycle, I wish that we would rotate a few more different stadiums in the game. Like we get Hard Rock, which we're in right now. We get Atlanta and we get New Orleans. And as we win the Super Bowl, by the way, we get Atlanta and we get New Orleans. We get Tampa Bay. And then I think we might get a little MetLife every once in a while, but we only get like 5 or 6 stadiums throughout all of the different sims that we have. And I wish that we would just rotate. Like, give me a Super Bowl in Cincinnati, or give me a Super Bowl in... Oh, we also get SoFi. I forgot about SoFi. SoFi is a Super Bowl destination, too. Give me a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh, or give me a Super Bowl in... Arizona. I forgot about... There's a few more than I thought. But I just thought about Arizona. Give me a Super Bowl in Minnesota, in that place. Or give me a Super Bowl for the Carolina Panthers Stadium, or any other stadium. Like, rotate give a chance for every stadium to have a Super Bowl, not just these random 8, 9 places every single year or every single time. It kind of gets monotonous and annoying after a while, seeing the same stadiums every single time you do a rebuild. But I don't have any say in that, so I can't really complain too much. Well, I can still complain, but Devin Neal is your Super Bowl MVP as he brings home a championship for the Saints the second time. Patrick Mahomes gets MVP of the league. Darren Rizzi, the coach of the Saints, gets Coach of the Year. Rashee Rice and Greg Rousseau are the Players of the Year, and unfortunately, our Rookie of the Year streak comes to an end. We don't win either of them. Alfonso Brown for the Patriots and Ramon Young of the Texans gets the Players of the Year, or the Rookies of the Year. So unfortunately, we don't get a 4th Rookie of the Year, but that is okay because we got a Super Bowl out of the deal. And we have officially rebuilt the New Orleans Saints. Juwan Johnson has retired, so it's Oscar Delp's time. Oh, no, he hasn't. He just regressed. He's still here, but he just regressed. Tyler Shough becomes a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He is 29 at this point, so his Super Bowl window is probably over at this point. Or maybe not over. There's quarterbacks that can win Super Bowls, obviously, in their 30s. But, I mean, he's going to start getting expensive pretty soon now that he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. These are his final stats for the rebuild. Devin Neal, I did notice, has himself star dev. The receivers look pretty good. Offensive line, we never really changed. We just moved Trevor Penning over to left guard. Kelvin Banks became a really good player for us. Fuaga developed. Nice to see that. We did do a lot on the defense, and Brian Bresee goes up to superstar. That's huge. Brian Branch also up to superstar. We drafted really well at the linebacking spot, getting Suntarine Perkins and Raylan Wilson, and then signing Jack Campbell in free agency was a really big addition. Broughton just happened to develop. I didn't even do anything with that. He was just here, and he happened to develop into a pretty solid backup D tackle. We brought in Nick Scorton in free agency. The corners were never really a big focal point of the team, but we brought in some pretty nice draft picks. We signed Noel Williams in free agency, drafted Lance Rowe. I mean, Denver Harris was a good player for us. We drafted him as well. Spears, we moved from safety to to corner. We really did just draft our cornerback room, which is not usually something that I tend to do. I can't say that. I do usually draft pretty good or pretty well at the cornerback spot every rebuild. But usually I try to sign some free agents, maybe trade for a corner or two. But this time we did the drafting, and that is gonna be the video and the rebuild. We have completed the Saints rebuild. We've only got one more of these left where we rebuild a team that made a big draft pick, and that is going to be the Shedeur Sanders Cleveland Browns rebuild coming in the future. So be on the lookout for that, as well as other videos from the channel. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.